Hey Sneeples, ProQuest season is upon us, and in this video we're going to go over the $100 budget deck of Boltyn, Sir Boltyn. You can take this deck, get to top 8, maybe even win the whole damn thing. Let's look at what makes this deck so cheap yet so effective. Let's get right to it.
Okay, so let's talk about Mr. Sir Boltyn himself. His ability has, if you would charge this turn, attacks you control have +1 while being defended by attack action card. And then he has the attack reaction, banish card from your soul. Target attack with greater power than its base gains go again. In this build, we have a transformative sideboard, so there's basically 2 decks in one. Both sides of the decks are going to be using this ability to its fullest extent. So that is Mr. Boltyn. Let's get into his weapons here. And the first ones we're going to talk about are the Centauri Sabers. This is the combo line. If you do not know how to play combo Boltyn, we have a video here that explains how to execute the combo. It's actually quite easy once you get familiar with it. But these are the Centauri Sabers that are along the combo line that we will be playing. Then we also have Raiden, Dustbane. This is for the decks that the combo isn't as effective against, such as Dromai, the Wizards. Hell, even if you wanted to play against Guardian, you could. But Raiden comes in with a 0 attack, which is very good. Obviously, once we charge, it comes in to get +3. As long as we can give our attacks go again with like using Boltyn's ability, then we can come in for 3, 0 cost 3 attack, which is extreme value. It's very good. Okay, so moving on to the armor here, we have Halo of Illumination. This is going to be our headpiece. This is our budget headpiece, but it does do what we want, especially if we are going first or have our opponents go first, because this is an instant speed that we can pay 1 to destroy this and put a card in our soul. We want cards in our soul sooner than later, so this really is good just to pop off in the beginning. And on top of that, if we're going against a Kano player, it has Spell Void 2, which with some of the other AB we have can help block out a full Aether Wildfire. Next up, this is where some of the value of this budget deck has gone to. Courage of Blade Hold is a chest equipment that blocks for 2 and then 1 and then no more. It has an action that we can destroy this to make our sword's attacks cost 1 less. Well, that doesn't mean much with Raiden. However, that means the world with Centauri Sabers. On our combo turn, allowing us to swing these sabers for free is super effective. So Courage of Blade Hold, much needed card here, worth the value. Next up is Gallantry Gold. Again, this is the budgeted version, so we're only running this as our arms instead of the Brave Forge Bracers. But this is a very good card. You'll see Boltyn players play this card because it has action destroy, and your weapon attacks gain +1 until the end of turn. So on a combo turn, we can use Gallantry Gold's ability and even get more damage through, which is super effective. Also, it has Battle Worn, so we can block with 1 on it, which is always nice. Finally, we have Snapdragon Scalers for our legs. This is good for our combo turn. If we don't already have Go Again, we need to get the Go Again, so Snapdragon Scalers allows us to do that. And it's also good if we're playing with the Raiden Sword, just to keep our attacks coming in wide. Next up, we have the No Rune package. We have Hood, Robe, and Gloves. We'll run the Halo of Illumination against Kano, but the Hood will run against Icelander. And this is just to prevent some damage against a Viscerai deck. We're probably going to be running the Gloves here and keep the other 2 out. Okay, so let's get into the meat and bones of this deck here. And obviously the first thing we're going to talk about is the Boltyn specialization card, which is Lumina Ascension. This is a huge combo piece. Whether you're playing with Centauri Sabers or Raiden, you want to play with this card because this card does so much, and you want to try to get multiples of 3 out there, at least 2. Again, we have a whole video on teaching how the combo is played, but this is a much needed card for Boltyn, and this is how, basically, if your opponent picks this card up and reads it, you know you're in a good spot because they probably don't know what's coming next. Beacon of Victory. This is a way we can search for Lumina Ascension so that we can have at least 2, if not 3 Lumina Ascensions. This is a very good card. Also, in the end game, when we have such a huge soul from our combo turn, this allows us to go and pump our attack to lethal, or at least allows us to go and grab another attack that can come in for lethal, such as a Celestial Cataclysm, which we'll get into later. This is definitely our 1-2 punch combo for sure. Just they really help out each other there. Okay, so let's get into the real meat and bones of this deck, and that is all the cards that charge that we play Rainbow of. And the first one is Bolt of Courage. We do play yellows and we play blues as well. And that's so we run a 9 of Bolt of Courage, and that's because it's a 0 cost, come in for 3. It's an additional cost we charge, which is a good thing. We do want to charge. And it has an on hit that if it hits, it draws us a card. That's also why we're running a rainbow, because the on hit is very, very relevant here. So just a card that charges that we really like to see. Let's get into another one here. Another one that we are running a rainbow of is the Engulfing Light. Engulfing Light here is another 0 cost, come in for 3 attack, but it has an on hit that it also goes into the soul, so you can look to charge it, but then if it hits after being charged, you can also put this card in the soul. So basically you can increase your soul to 2 on 1 turn on 1 attack, which is very, very good. That's why we are running rainbow. Finally, our last rainbow card. It is not a 0 cost, unfortunately, but it's still just a very good card that we have to run it, and that's Take Flight. It is a 1 for 4 on the red. As an additional cost, we can charge our soul. Charging is always optional. I just want to put that out there. So you don't have to charge, right? But you oftentimes want to. But a 1 for 4, if we charge it, has Go Again. That's very good. That means we don't have to use our Snapdragon Scalers if it's a combo turn, or it just allows us to go wider if we're playing with Raiden. So this is our 9 of pile right there. Let's get into some of these other cards. Not a 9 of, but still just a very good card. Can't ignore. Express Lightning, a 0 for 4. Even if we don't charge, it's a 0 for 4, but it also has the ability where we could charge. So 0 for 4 with a charge is very good. That's why we run that card. And then another 0 for 4 we run is Illuminate. This card does not have a charge, but does have an on hit that if it hits, it puts into our hero soul. So it's kind of a pseudo charge. Basically, you know, if your opponent doesn't want you to have a soul, makes them have to block this card out, which is always good. Now let's get into V of the Vanguard here. And this is a 1 for 3. But this card really works with Boltyn quite a bit, because as an additional cost, we can charge any number of times. And for each light card we charge, our attacks gain +1. Now, in this version, we cannot afford the Spirit of Ierna, so we don't have that card. Otherwise, we would be able to pump up our combo turn had we had that card. But that's no problem. This card is a good late game card for the combo version. And if you're playing Raiden, this card works perfectly with Raiden because it pumps up Raiden as well. It also just allows you to, decide how many cards you want to put in your soul, and that's always nice as well. And then, if our cards are pumped up, that means we can use Boltyn's ability to give them Go Again because they have a greater base. So that's always nice too. Okay, next up, we mentioned this card earlier, Celestial Cataclysm, a 0 for 7 with Go Again. Obviously that's insane. What's the cost? Well, the cost is we have to banish 3 cards from our soul. That's not a problem. Oftentimes this is a great finisher. Coming in at the end is really good with this card in particular because of the Go Again ability with it. Alright, so now we're going to get into some other cards that work a little bit better with the Raiden package. We'll get into the Centauri Saber package afterwards, but let's just talk about these because sometimes we'll even play these in the Centauri Saber package just because they're good late game cards. So 1 for 5 here, Battlefield Blitz. If we charge it, has Go Again, so 1 for 5 Go Again. It's pretty solid, pretty solid. Then we also have Bolting Blade. This is a 4 cost for 7. However, it costs 2 less for each time we charge this turn. So if we have a Via the Vanguard and we charge twice with Via the Vanguard, I mean, now it's a 0 for 7, which is insane. Obviously, very, very good value. Also a Phantasm Popper for if you're going against Dromai. And then finally, this is definitely more for the Raiden version, but Courageous Steel Hand, a 0 attack reaction, 0 cost attack reaction that if we charge turn, target attack gains +3. Very good, because if we pump our attacks, we can then give them go again with Boltyn's ability. So obviously very, very good there. Now let's get into some of the cards that we have if we are playing the Centauri Saber combo. And that is blocks, right? We're just gonna keep blocking, blocking, blocking until we can't block anymore. And Fate Foreseen helps us do that. 0 for 4 with the Ops. Ops is actually pretty damn relevant here, because if we're playing the combo line, we're really just opting until we hit a Beacon of Victory or a Lumina Ascension. Everything else can go on the bottom. Next up is the Sink Belows. Again, 0 for 4 here allows us to put a card on the bottom so that we can then draw another card. Hopefully we draw a Lumina Ascension or something that helps us to get a bigger soul, what have you. Obviously, we just want to run the D-Reacts, and so one of our best D-Reacts here is Soul Shield. It does cost 2, but it's a 2 for 6, so it blocks all the big attacks. And on top of that, once it's done blocking, it goes to Soul, so it puts itself in the Soul. That's very, very good. Oftentimes, we need 3 or 4 cards in Souls, and then we can do the combo. So this allowing us to get there while blocking is always very, very good. Finally, we have Oasis Respite. This is because Icelander is so big in the meta right now that we need something to protect ourselves from her. In Oasis Respite, it does cost 1, but you know, allowing us to possibly gain a life and prevent damage is extremely well. When we're playing the combo style, all we want to do is survive until we can play the combo out. And once we play the combo out, we can probably win the game, if not that turn, a few turns afterwards. So all we need to do is survive. So that's why we have Oasis Respite, Soul Shield, Sink Belows, and Fate Foreseens. We're just trying to hold on to survive. So that's Sir Boltyn. Guys, this is a deck that will sneak up, and if players don't know how to play against it, then you can easily get your wins. Just know that this deck does struggle against Icelander. I do have some sideboard pieces. I have 3 energy potions in the side that you can bring in. But cards like Hypothermia really just put a, Hypothermia, Channel, Lake Frigid, Blizzard. These are all ice cards that disrupt Boltyn, and if you're going combo style, that can really hurt you. Even if you're going Raiden style, that might not, be enough to overtake Icelander. So just keep that in mind. This deck does struggle against Icelander, but if you're going against any other hero, this is a deck that can survive long enough to do its combo turn and then win shortly after. So Sir Boltyn, Breaker of Dawn, worth giving him a try, worth giving him a go. And again, I didn't understand how to play him at first until I learned the combo. So if you don't know the combo yet, don't feel bad. Just go ahead and watch our other video and it'll all make sense. Until then, guys, keep on fabbing. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this shirt or the others we have just like it, we sell shirts and keychains and more to come. Go to fleshandbaubles.com, enter the promo Sneep, and you get 10% off your entire order. Some really cool stuff, some really cool gift ideas. We would really appreciate your help supporting us. Thank you.